Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I've been a little bit MIA. Life and work have got in the way and unfortunately YouTube has fallen to the bottom of my priority list, but I am back today to talk about my Implanon experience. I want to be super clear before I start this video that this is just my experience. I'm not giving you medical or professional advice. I just found it really difficult when I was researching the Implanon to read or learn about other women's personal experience, so I wanted to share mine with you. So I guess I'll start off with why I decided to give the Implanon a go. I suffer from migraines with aura, which means I suffer migraines where my vision is blurred. And a lot of research has been done on this, and what they've actually found is women who suffer these migraines with aura and are on the combination pills, so pills like Yaz, Diane, Brenda, any pill that has a combination of estrogen and progesterone, are more likely to suffer a blood clot or have a stroke, which is obviously not what anyone wants. So as soon as this sort of came about, I was switched right back onto the mini pill. So in my time, I have probably tried 3 or 4 mini pills, but I had the same side effects with each pill that I tried. So my skin would flare up, I would get bad migraines, again, even worse than what I usually get, and I would get irregular bleeding, which is extremely common on the mini pill. But with me, it just got to a point where it was unbearable. So after all this frustration and trying a new mini pill and then having to come off it again and trying a new one, my doctor suggested to me that I look into Implanon. For those of you who haven't heard about Implanon, it's a little rod that stays in your arm for, I think it's 3 years, and it slowly releases progesterone, which is the same hormone as what's in the mini pill, but it was just another option for me because the mini pills just weren't working. So that's where I started doing all this research, and while I did find a lot of sort of medical pages on the procedure, the kind of side effects, I really wanted personal accounts of what it's like, I guess. I should point out that at this point in my life, I was still quite adamant on being on some form of hormonal contraception. I guess I was just really scared of having an accident and falling pregnant and not being at the right time in my life to have a baby. So I booked in for the procedure, and the procedure itself is very simple, quick, easy. If I can do it, you can too. I'm so squirmish, and honestly the only thing that I felt was the initial anesthetic that they inject into your arm. Apart from that, I honestly hadn't even realized that she'd finished until she told me that she'd done it. Yeah, so it was super easy. I was bruised for maybe a few days afterwards, but there was no pain whatsoever. So honestly, the first few months were a dream. I had a tiny bit of bleeding, but nothing I couldn't handle. My skin was okay. I wasn't getting migraines or headaches. I really honestly thought for the first few months that it was going to be a life changer. I got it done in August of last year, and I think things started to kind of unravel around Christmas. I started bleeding, I think over Christmas and New Year. I had a period for 2.5, almost 3 weeks. It was heavy, it was painful. It was also really inconvenient because my boyfriend and I were going away, and it was just like, you don't want to have a heavy period when you're on holiday. But also my skin started breaking out. I was starting to get headaches. My mood was also changing. My mum pulled me up a few times saying that I was being a little bit snappy, which is not usually like me. So I was kind of becoming aware of my mood changing. I was also having really weird food cravings. I don't usually have a sweet tooth, but I was craving sugary, fatty, fried food. Yeah, so I was just keeping track of a few changes that were going on. I should also mention that a lot of these websites say that the Implanon can cause weight gain. It's not the Implanon itself that causes the weight gain, it's giving into the food cravings that the Implanon may give you. The other big thing was my skin. I've always kind of suffered with perioral dermatitis. Anything around this area is usually hormonal. So when this was starting to flare up again, I knew that it was related to my hormones and not my skincare regime or anything like that. So I clearly remember the day that I got the Implanon removed. I woke up and I think I had been bleeding. This was my 16th day in a row. My skin was a mess. I was in a shitty mood. I was craving all this crap food and it was just like all too much. So I made the decision that I was going to book in for the doctor and I was not going to take no for an answer. I just wanted it out. So yeah, and getting it out again was pretty much the same as getting it put in. It was very easy. Again, the only thing that hurt was the anesthetic needle that they put in. It probably took a bit longer than I would have liked to have got it taken out, because I just don't like the thought of people fiddling around with my skin and I don't know. But if you have a good doctor, they'll have a nurse with them, and the nurse chatted away to me and kept me distracted, so it was okay. I do have a little scar. I'll put a photo in now. So yeah, that's the scar. I am using bio oil on it at the moment, but honestly, I'd rather that little scar and have tried it and it not work out than not have done it at all. Now I want to be super clear, just because it wasn't the right thing for me does not mean it won't be the right thing for you. I know lots of girls that have had this and think it's fantastic and have stuck with it for the 3 years. I also have other friends that I know that also had to get it taken out for one reason or another. So it really is just up to you. You need to weigh up the pros and cons, what you've tried already, what you haven't tried yet, and just make a really informed decision. I had my Implanon taken out a few months ago. I'm extremely lucky that I'm almost back to a regular cycle. Already my periods are lighter, they're not as painful, and they're not lasting as long, which is, I can't tell you how good that is to just have like a normal period. Now when I was posting about this on my Instagram that I was getting it removed, a lot of women sent me DMs saying, you know, be really careful, you should go back on something else straight away. For me, I've chosen to just give myself a break. I'm giving my body a break of all sort of hormonal forms of contraception. I've been on the pill since I was 17 years of age. And I just decided that almost 10 years of hormonal contraception is enough. I also did a lot of research about the fertility awareness method. Now, I am not an expert on this whatsoever, but I just found it a little bit silly that I was pumping so much synthetic hormones into my body when you only really can fall pregnant in a certain time of your cycle. I think it's only like 6 or 7 days that you can fall pregnant. So if you're careful in that time, I don't see the point of pumping crap into your body for the rest of the month. My skin is slowly clearing up. I'm going to be posting another video about how I'm clearing up my skin in the coming weeks. I'm doing lots of different things topically, but also internally. I am no longer as snappy as I was. I think I'm in a better headspace overall, and I'm not getting those food cravings anymore. So for me, it is just about giving myself a break, being careful in those times of the month when I am super fertile and likely to fall pregnant. But apart from that, I really do feel like I made the right decision for myself. You can read more about the cost associated with the Implanon in Australia on my blog. I'll pop the link down below. I go into more detail about the cost and the actual procedure itself on there, so you can check that out. So I hope I've been able to maybe clear up a few misconceptions or give you a better idea of what might or might not happen to you during your time with the Implanon. Please feel free to send me any messages or questions that you have. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you have liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all really soon. Bye.